There are residual failure modes in blockchains, and I think it is important that we continue to innovate to reduce the odds of them happening and reduce their severity, even if it is a bit embarrassing for the industry to point the finger at these failure modes. And
we're coming off, frankly, 4 years of arbitrary prosecution and persecution of crypto companies where the SEC wouldn't tell founders what the rules were, but then they would prosecute them. And many founders have even...
Internet 3.0 is what we're talking about today, and that's the Internet of value. And we're approaching it in a principled way.
So the CoinDesk 20 index ended up 88% on the year. The top performers of current constituents were on nobody's bingo card, right? Ripple and Stellar and HBAR.
I think the infrastructure plays are interesting.
But which one, right? Which one's going to reign supreme? Again, I don't think anybody had Ripple and Stellar on their bingo cards for best performer out of a CoinDesk 20 last year. So
they try to shake me out, but I was born ready. Dropping down the price, then I be getting plenty. They want all your bags and they want all them empty.
What's up, good glitches? If you got a baggie, welcome to the party. Welcome back to some more Moon o'clock news. No breakfast, no coffee, just straight extra bullishness. Appreciate you stopping by, tuning in for another one. Smash them likeys on the way in. We got a lot of extra bullish news dropping in. But before we get to the bullishness, we got some bearish FUD news to jump in. Go ahead, throw on those moon suits, throw on those pilot shades. Buckle up, because the future's extra bullish. Let's go full speed, full throttle into the cryptoverse. We got the total global cryptocurrency market cap today at $3.27 trillion, down around 7.1% in the past 24. We got XRP right around $2.45, BTC right around 96K, ETH right around 26 hundo, Stellar XLM right around the 17 spot, right around 34 cents. Batman bag ladies, we got some breaking news to burst off with here. VetXO 15 minutes ago, the last validated XRP ledger halted. No forward progress currently. Last validated ledger. And taking a look at livenet.xrpl.org, ledger not found. Also, if you check out the Explorer, nothing happening. FUD before the burst. VetXO also says your XRP is safe, but if you want to use any of the XRP ledger apps, etc., you can't currently because no forward progress. As troubleshooting is going on again, your keys are safe. Stay vigilant. Zaman Wallet says the XRP ledger currently halted with the ledgers not being validated. Zaman Wallet app remains fully operational, but transactions on the XRP ledger are not going through. We are monitoring this situation closely and will provide updates soon as we have more clarity. Stay tuned. The XRP ledger halted. Last producer ledger blocked 10 minutes ago. Investigating. We got Andrew D. Vilbis, the XRP ledger halt feature explained. Joel Katz, blockchain meltdowns are a thing. And here Joel Katz talks about a feature for the XRP ledger that got activated November 21st, 2021. A feature that improves the liveliness of the XRP ledger in times of validators are struggling to stay online. There's features in place for this exact problem.
Negative UNL is a feature that I am incredibly excited about, but it's very difficult for me to convey that excitement without... it's a little bit bittersweet. It's kind of like if you invented a technology that would make it less likely for a nuclear reactor to melt down. Like, how would the nuclear reactor industry promote that development, right? They would have to talk about how horrible meltdowns are to tell you how great the technology is. And of course, they don't want to do that. Right? Nobody in the nuclear reactor industry wants to talk about how bad a meltdown is. They want to pretend that they don't exist. But let's be honest, blockchains have failure modes. Bitcoin, for example, has a double spend. Bitcoin had an unintentional fork in 2013. Ethereum had the DAO attack. There are residual failure modes in blockchains, and I think it is important that we continue to innovate to reduce the odds of them happening and reduce their severity, even if it is a bit embarrassing for the industry to point the finger at these failure modes. And there is a residual failure mode in the XRP ledger, which is if too many validators fail before humans can respond to it, the ledger could halt its forward progress. That is a residual failure mode. It's somewhat analogous to the double spend risk or reorganization risk in Bitcoin. The consequences tend to be less. They tend to be a halting of the ledger. So nobody loses money directly, but you want maximum reliability for ledger. You don't want it to halt. So the way the negative UNL feature works, and I think this is important, is it does not change consensus at all. This is something very important to understand. So it has no impact on any of the XRP ledger's attributes that come from consensus. That includes its censorship resistance And that includes its sort of decentralization, its fairness, amendment voting, fee voting, the other things that validators do. Negative UNL is implemented exclusively through the validation mechanism. To use a Bitcoin analogy for people not familiar with the sort of technical details of the XRP ledger, if you think about like Bitcoin's decentralization and fairness properties, they come from the mining and the production of blocks. But the final validation, like the resistance to reorganizations, comes from each individual participant's decision when to consider a transaction final. They may wait for 6 confirmations. Negative UNL impacts the part of the XRP ledger that's analogous to waiting for confirmations. And that is not where the decentralization or censorship resistance comes from, because those are exclusively local properties, right? It's a local decision when to accept a transaction.
Looks like the XRP Ledger halt feature has kicked in. Be on the lookout for more updates when the XRP Ledger is kicked back on. And just as I was wrapping up the video, we got breaking news. While the XRP Ledger is back online, the XRP Ledger is now fully operational after the recent halt, and transactions can resume as normal. We're monitoring the situation. We'll share a full update soon once more information is available. We back up just like that. Now we got a lot of extra bullish news to dive in. CoinDesk, tune in Thursday, February 6th, as we bring you CoinDesk Live from the Ondo Finance Summit. We'll be joined by speakers from Ripple, Citi, Stellar, and FTI Global to discuss tokenization, compliance, and market trends that are reshaping the digital finance. Mark your calendars from 12 to 2 p.m. Eastern. Catch the live broadcast Thursday, February 6th. We got Amon by Justin, the crypto czar. David Stack says we're coming off, frankly, 4 years of arbitrary prosecution and persecution of crypto companies. Be ready for the flip of the switch.
We're coming off, frankly, 4 years of arbitrary prosecution and persecution of crypto companies where the SEC wouldn't tell founders what the rules were, but then they would prosecute them. And many founders have even told me stories of being debanked personally just because they had founded a crypto company.
And that was Brad Garlandhouse, who said he was debanked because he was a CEO of Ripple, XRP, hidden in plain sight. I hope you got those bags packed, locked and loaded, cold storage. The only way to go. Subject views. The House of Agriculture Committee Chairman Thompson says the opportunities are unimaginable. The new press conference on digital assets.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Congressman G.T. Thompson, chair of the House Agriculture Committee. And this is what we're doing today is sort of the next step in what will be a milestone, which will be a great accomplishment for our country. You know, America really was a leader when it came to Internet 1.0, right? It was the Internet of knowledge. And the Internet 2.0, again, it was America that led that for the world, not just for our citizens, but for the world. And that was the Internet of things. And then Internet 3.0 is what we're talking about today, and that's the Internet of value. And we're approaching it in a principled way. You know, my colleagues here mentioned a couple of those. Number one, do no harm. You know, protect consumers, provide that regulatory structure, that certainty, both for the industry, but quite frankly for the consumers as well. And secondly is foster innovation, because the opportunities are just really are unimaginable. Well, what I believe is that whatever's over the horizon is going to be very, very exciting. So I'm really, well, first of all, just very thankful to President Trump for his historic efforts to bring regulatory clarity to the digital assets markets. His leadership with the work that David Sachs is going to lead on his behalf is going to be a game changer for American competitiveness in the global race to build the new economy. The president could not have picked a better person to helm his AI and digital asset efforts. David brings a wealth of experience in exploring new technologies and building successful businesses to this new role. You know, we've had great conversations, and I know that he is laser focused on bringing certainty to digital asset markets.
They won't say XRP, but they'll use keywords like Internet of Value, distributed ledger, technology, the bridge asset, interoperability. You know what's coming. They know what's coming. And they can't stop it. That regulation jar of molasses is about to burst open. Got Eleanor Terrett, new takeaways from the digital asset presser. House of Financial Services, House AG, Senate Banking Committees are forming a Bicameral committee to lead on crypto regulation where they'll prioritize stablecoin and market structure legislation. We got RLUSD coming to take that #1 spot with stablecoin regulation. Banking GOP Chairman Senator Tim Scott says he plans to be as aggressive as possible to have the bills through the Senate in the first 100 days. Committee plans to build from the FIT 21 bill from market structure legislation and will use Senator Haggerty's new stablecoin bill that will be dropped today as a starting point for the new legislation in Congress. Stablecoin legislation is moving forward quickly, according to Senator Tim Scott. He says Republicans have been working with Democrat sponsors on the bill and they plan to move on that. First, Tim Scott says he wants to discuss AML laws with Democrat colleagues in a broader sense, not just as it relates to digital assets, crypto, and ARZR. David Sachs says one of the first things that they're going to look at is the feasibility of Bitcoin reserve, and they're still on the early stages as some members of the Presidential Working Group on Digital Assets are still yet to be confirmed. Regulation John Molasses is about to burst open. XRP price before regs or regs then price. Senator Bill Haggerty says today I'm introducing the Genuous Act with Senator Tim Scott, Senator Gillibrand, and Senator Lummis as a bill that establishes a clear regulatory framework for stablecoins. I look forward to working with Rep. French Hill and Financial Committee to get it done at the President's desk and signed into law. So it begins. The best is still yet to come. Crawl, walk. Then we rock it. Bitcoin Magazine breaking President Trump's cryptos are. Sachs says that they're going to evaluate a Bitcoin reserve. Waited to get a hold of that. HODL, on-demand liquidity.
So one of the things that the president instructed us to do was to evaluate the idea for a Bitcoin reserve, and so that is one of the things. This is one of the first things we're going to look at as part of the internal working group in the administration. So as soon as we get all that set up, we're still waiting for some cabinet secretaries who are on the working group to get confirmed. So we're still in the very early stages of this, but that's one of the first things we're going to look at is the feasibility of a Bitcoin reserve. I think the concept of the sovereign wealth fund's a little separate, and you'd have to talk to Secretary Lutnick, or soon to be Secretary Lutnick, about that.
Thank you all very much.
They're going to evaluate a Bitcoin reserve that does nothing, has no utility. What will they do with XRP? Built for business, built for the Internet of Value 3.0. We got one from Smoke Dog. XRP, XLM, and HBAR mentioned on NASDAQ. Listen closely. You're watching mainstream media wake up in real time to the immense potential that ISO 20022 brings to the crypto markets. By the time the masses realize what's happening, the window of opportunity will already be closed. Trains left the station.
So we had these two big clumps of performance, and in between we had to be super patient. It was really a Bitcoin year a lot, although after the election, the idea of smart contract platforms and other growth-oriented digital assets gained favor. They have much more to benefit from a new regulatory pavement. So Ethereum sprang back to life, a lot of other layer ones, a lot of DeFi protocols. So the CoinDesk 20 index ended up 88% on the year. The top performers of current constituents were on nobody's bingo card, right? Ripple and Stellar and HBAR. So a lot of the names that were where there was excitement in the beginning of the year sort of switched places. So it was a very strong year, and it really provided a launch pad for 2025.
Which is interesting because we were talking.
So we had these two big.
Get ready for that. Launch pad.
Blockchain brought trustlessness to an industry that requires trust. And for institutional adoption, we sort of have to bring trust to trustlessness, right? And collateral management, custody, execution quality, knowing who your counterparty is. A lot of bilateral derivatives are going to explode in volume, right? It's not only just going to be centralized exchanges exchanging fiat for blockchain assets. It's going to be all kinds of trading. And a lot of that for institutional adoption is going to require familiar levels of trust.
Right.
So that has to be married back. Index investing, I think our biggest theme last year was that people didn't know what to do after Bitcoin. And I think many people still don't. And most people probably shouldn't, right? 5%ers who are going to spend 5% of their investment time thinking about crypto and maybe even allocating 1 or 2 or 3% shouldn't spend the time necessary to decide whether it's going to be Solana or Sui.
I think the infrastructure plays are interesting.
Right? But which one, right? Which one's going to reign supreme? Again, I don't think anybody had Ripple and Stellar on their bingo cards for best performer out of a CoinDesk 20 last year. So index investing with maintaining rebalancing into the top performers, the biggest names, the best liquidity, right? The easiest implementation cost, which is how a lot of our indices are built. We're about to launch a bunch of new indices next week, actually, that go much broader for the professional set, for the hedge fund that has a 200 token depth, for the IPO market maker who really needs to think about not Bitcoin and Ether, but the next 100 tokens. We think serving that market's going to be very important. So correlation to those tail assets is going to be important for the everyday investor. And
they're distracting the masses from the true utility coins like XRP, XLM. By the time they hear about it, it's already too late. Triple digits. 4 digits. Sentiment feed following what now looks like a cryptocurrency market overreaction to Trump's tariffs early Monday. The second half of the day quickly reversed course and left panic sellers kicking themselves. They should have bought that dip. Grad crypto XLM might outperform XRP in February. Looking back at the previous moves, XLM has demonstrated a quicker and more significant percentage increase than XRP. While XRP is closing in on its 2017 all-time high, I believe XLM will not only match this, but exceed it. XLM. Dark Defender says today he will explain XRP is expected to target $8 in the upcoming days with key levels and might enter and extra strategies without giving any financial advice. He'll share it on X today, 1630 CET. We got one from Mustache of Crypto. A moment when you realize that the total 2 is in a descending channel and has recently touched a trend line that has been in place for almost 6 months. And if you combine that with the fact that FTX is starting to repay around $16 billion on February 18th, bullish. Taking a look at USDT dominance, currently right around 4.46%. Will the USDT dominance collapse take us to lower levels unseen? When the USDT dominance falls, XRP rises. And with that being said, Batman bag ladies, the bear told you, regulation jar molasses, it's almost time. Batman bag ladies, and the longer they take, the higher we keep climbing on that XRP rich list. Where will those bags be when that regulation jar molasses finally breaks open and XRP's true price is finally revealed?
Big bags.
We'll catch you up here on the mothership. BYOB. Bring your own bags, be your own bank, be your own boss. And don't forget to drop an elbow from the top ropes on that likey button. We'll catch you in the next one. See you at the tippy top. Later, glitches.
Later, glitches.
Maxi, NC, it cannot scale. Moon fam dancing, that rocket got stealth. Shitcoin, put it on the shelf. We headed towards the wealth. BTC, Maxi, Patsy, Moon fam clapping, they could not tell. Sheep trying to sell when it didn't turn out well. Blink of an eye, red candle, it all fell. Bitcoin was a demo, you ain't get the memo. Net memos, SEC settle, we blasting off the ghetto. Big bags on me, middle finger to the devils. Rocket fly itself, no keys, no pedals to the top, I need a medal. Stay holy in my temple, ripplenews.